absolutely. And I think that people think that like failing is the opposite of success, but it's part of it. You know, like you have to go through certain winters, you know, show relationships or whatever winter you can think of in order to like appreciate it, you know, appreciate life more. And like whenever your time comes, because it'll come, you know, like winters don't last forever.
Yeah.
But then you will be like smarter, wiser, stronger. So like you will be able to take advantage of the opportunities like that life it's going to give you for sure.
All right, guys. Well, welcome to another episode of Alan K Show. My name is Alan Kushmarkov. I'm the founder of Best Homes Real Estate, not probably, the best brokerage in the Valley of the Sun. And then we also got a special guest today, someone that is helping our agents and their clients with all of their insurance needs.
Yes, sir.
Right? We got an amazing, as probably one of the best insurance agents in the game right now, Christopher Alfaro. You say, I got it. You see, I don't know if you know this, but in the last couple of weeks, I've been learning Spanish, right? You know, I speak a little Spanish and go, un poquito, a little, right? You see, I remember those words. But I was like, man, you know, this is ridiculous. Like these guys are speaking to me in Spanish. It's a sign. And I have to learn how to speak Spanish.
Sure.
So I came back the next day, talking to Melissa, talking to Celine, talking to Gabby, who, by the way, is 50% Hispanic as well. I said, I'm challenging you guys that by the end of the year, you teach me how to speak Spanish. So guess what? In the last couple of weeks, I have these Spanish, we call them maestros, Spanish teachers that come and teach me different words of Spanish and sentences. And you probably speak Spanish as well, right?
Yeah, I'm originally from Nicaragua, Central America, so it's right next to Mexico. It's like Mexico, Guatemala, and then it's like kind of
Nicaragua.
just like the middle of the whole continent. Actually, yeah, it's a pretty cool place. Like for surfing, we have volcanoes. We have actually both oceans, Pacific on one side and the Caribbean on the other one. So it's like a great place to go for real.
Really?
Yeah,
So you were born there.
I was born there. Yes.
All right. And when did you immigrate to the United States?
It was back in 2017 when I started working for Norwegian Cruise Line. Well, not specifically for Norwegian, but for Doffrey, the gift shops. So it was just like, I had to move. Although I was not living in the States per se, but I was like, coming and going along with the ships. It was,
Wait a minute. Hold on. Like, so you've only been here in the States for like 8 years?
yeah, pretty much.
Man, your English is like spot on. It's perfect.
Thank you.
That's
You know,
very impressive. 2017,
yeah.
you made your journey here. Man, you speak really good English. How were you able to learn so quickly?
It's a crazy story that you'll never guess. I learned how to speak English by playing Nintendo 64. For real.
Really?
I have been a gamer my entire life.
Do they have like a Rosetta Stone version of it on Nintendo 64? Like,
Pretty much.
what's going on?
Pretty much. So like when I was like maybe 9 to 10 years old, I got a Nintendo 64 that I used to like play it with my friends. Like as soon as I came back from school, straight to Nintendo. And I guess it is just like something that I was born with. I love languages and cultures. I can actually speak English, French, Portuguese, and Spanish. And I think that whenever you learn a language, like you get to learn music, food, the cultural aspect of it. And yeah, I think it's pretty cool.
Got it. So you moved here in 2017.
Yeah.
How old were you?
Geez, I'm 32 now. So that's 8, 7, around 24.
24 years old.
Yeah.
By yourself or with the family?
On my own.
On your own?
Yeah, basically, because I was like in back-to-back contracts. So it was like I used to be 6 to 10 months and then like a month of vacation. So I used to go back home. But after the pandemic, like the ships stopped working and I had to go for like a couple of years back to Nicaragua. And then I moved like completely in here in 2023. I've been here since.
Got it. So you're working for like a cruise ship. Got it. And there's gift section department.
Yeah, I used to sell jewelry.
Interesting. So your contracts would be anywhere between like 6 to 10 months long.
All right.
So you're living on a cruise ship.
Yes.
Wow, interesting. And then about a month or so, 2 months, you're home.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
It's a nice life for
It
sure.
is a nice life.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like all the traveling.
Do you get to like go outside of the ship? Like for example, where they dock, let's say Bahamas or in like Mexico or somewhere else, or
You
Well,
get it depends on the department, and I was blessed enough to be on the gift shop, which is like tax and duty free. So while the ships are docked, you cannot sell because otherwise you will have to tax them. What's the purpose of it? So I used to have all the dock time off, and I was just like out and about, like traveling, getting to know all these places and stuff. I actually collected magnets from every single place that I went to. I have like 140 plus
That's pretty
magnets.
cool.
Yeah.
So question for you, I always wondered, like, how are the living quarters on the ship for someone who actually works on the ship?
Honestly, like the ship life is like Big Brother type of thing because you live with the people that you work. So sometimes I was blessed enough to have like really cool cabin mates, but
Okay, hold on a second. You had cabin mates?
yeah,
Like you're sleeping like in one room together?
yeah, like in bunk beds.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you had to share the cabins. Yeah,
No way.
yeah.
What's the size of the room?
Oh, fairly. Maybe like the same size of this room that we're on. Maybe sometimes bigger. Depends on the ship.
And how many beds in this room?
Oh, in the gift shop, you had like 2 people per cabin. But like if you're talking about the people from restaurants, from the bar,
Yeah.
the galley, you have 4 people.
So this is 10 by 10, maybe 10 by 11.
Yeah.
Okay.
You
So
can,
how many bunk beds in one room?
if it's like 2 people, it's just like 2 beds. But
Yeah.
like if you have like 4 people cabins, obviously they're bigger.
Wow.
But you have 4 beds in there.
Windows?
No,
No windows.
no windows.
Wow.
Yeah, because like
Shower?
yeah, but like gee, I will say maybe a 2 by 2,
So there's a little like a toilet, a shower, a sink.
and that's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
And no place to really like sit. You're sitting in your bed.
No, I mean like you do
There's
have
like a little
space.
there's okay.
But again,
TV.
yes, you do
There's
have
a TV.
TVs, yeah,
Yeah.
but they're like at the like your bed and the TV is like right there. You know what I'm saying? It's like it depends on the ship as well.
Yeah.
Like older ships, they have smaller cabins.
Yeah.
Newer ones, they have some space in there.
Okay. And then like what are your like working hours? How many hours do you work per day?
So if you were at sea, you used to work from 8 a.m. to like 11 p.m. with a 2-hour break.
No way.
Yeah.
So you're working what, 13 hours, 14 hours?
13 to 14. Yeah.
How many days a week?
Well, that depends on the cruise. Like on the itinerary, if you're like, for example, from New York to the Caribbean is like 3 days at sea, which is like 8 to 11.
Yeah.
And then like days that you're on the islands, it's like kind of work on once the ship has like, taken off the port. Yeah.
Okay. Do you get paid per hour or do you get paid per like per whatever that month?
Yeah. It's a monthly wage.
It's a monthly wage.
Yeah. So I was like on the jewelry section. I
Uh-huh.
was like the wife's best friend, the husband's worst enemy.
You're one of those.
Yeah, that's me.
I hated it.
It was like commission based, but
So you make commission on top of that too.
yeah.
Okay, all right. And that's probably where you learn how to, speak Spanish, not speak Spanish, speak English, Portuguese to a degree, right?
Yeah, so English I already knew because it was
Yeah.
like basic.
Oh, okay.
It was like kind of one of the requirements because in a cruise line you will be interacting with people from everywhere, so you had to. But like Portuguese, I knew a little bit, but I finessed it there.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. And the food is included.
The food is included. So basically, like if you're really frugal as a crew member, you can save all your salary. But like sometimes the food is not as good because like there is like a major population of Philippines and Indians, so like they kind of prioritize what there is like more on the ships. They do put other options, but I'm a foodie, so I love to eat. So whenever I was out, I was certainly visiting restaurants. Yeah.
Okay, so most of the food was more kind of like geared towards Indians and Filipinos.
Yeah, you do have some other options,
Yeah.
but like not 100% of the time you're going to enjoy it. You know what I mean?
Ah,
Yeah.
and if you don't mind me asking, like how much were you making per month?
Well, on the first couple of contracts, I was like in the general merchandise gift shop, which is the shirts, the Dramamine, and all that. It was averaging maybe somewhere between 1,500. When I was kind of promoted to the jewelry, then I was making more. So I'll say maybe 4,000 to 5,000 depending on the cruise.
That's pretty good money, right?
Yeah.
Because I mean, you think about it, I mean, you don't spend most. I mean, you don't spend that much at all. You don't have the time to spend that kind of money, right? I mean, yeah, no,
Yeah, I
maybe?
mean, like when you're out,
You're out, yeah.
the thing about a cruise, and this is like
You get to save most of it.
yeah, but like it depends on the person you are. I remember that I had a manager from Colombia that told me that the life on the cruise is fake. And I was like, what do you mean with that? And he is like, because you're visiting all this like fancy places that people that can afford a cruise that go to. You know, you used to go to Saint Martin which is a really nice spot to buy jewelry, by the way. Saint Martin is super cheap. And then you have all this, you know, shops, fancy shops, Gucci, Prada, Louis Vuitton, everything that you have in there, you can spend money. And if you're not really frugal, you're going to spend. And if, let's say that you don't go that extremist into like buying brands and all of that, but, you know, going out to eat every single time, you know, it's like $180 and you still want to enjoy, you know. I think that I need to live life, you know, like all the money, of course, saving is important, but you're not going to take it once you're gone, you know?
Absolutely. I mean, it's interesting, you know, first and foremost, I mean, you know this, I mean, and I say this all the time, life is too short,
Yeah,
you know, and you want to enjoy it,
absolutely.
you know, and you're not going to take everything with you. It's not going to happen.
Nothing.
Right. But also, it doesn't mean that you live a careless life. It doesn't mean that you live a life beyond your means. It doesn't mean that you spend everything that you made, right? Just got to be a balance.
It's all about balance.
You know, it's
Exactly.
got to be a balance. Yeah. But I love the story, man. That's great. So like, so you would have these a month and a half, 2 months off. You go back home, Nicaragua,
Yes.
right? Probably a rich man, right? Because in Nicaragua, I think what the average pays, how much is it per month in US dollars?
Oh, gee, yeah, like, I mean, depends on, like, obviously your employment, but,
Average pay is like $1,000.
yeah, like, a little bit less, maybe I mean, like, if you're a teacher, $250, $300, and there are some jobs that will give you some good money. Because like,
Yeah.
a good thing about Nicaragua is that we have a lot of people, like, a lot of companies, US-based companies like Capital One, Apple, Microsoft, that they have the call centers in there, so that's kind of one of the main jobs. I used to do that before, worked for companies like Sprint, Equifax, Apple, and some others, so, like, there's a lot of good labor, a lot of
English speaking.
English speaking, and of course, you know, we're bilingual,
Yeah.
so that helps.
Yeah. 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 So, all right. So 2017, you decided to make the move. Officially, you made a move in 2023,
Yeah.
right? Okay. By yourself. So your parents still live there,
My mom,
right?
yeah.
Your mom. Any other siblings?
Yeah, I do have 2 sisters. They're still they're back home as well.
Got it. All right. So coming here, new country, obviously. I don't know if you have a family here or not, but pretty much starting over, right? From scratch.
Yeah.
What was it like?
Well, I mean, it was just another day on the office, honestly, because like, a friend of mine told me that I have lived many lives. You know, I've had the privilege of starting from zero multiple times, and it was just another, like, one more page to my book, you know what I mean? It's obviously challenging. I started working in real estate, like, as a virtual assistant back in 2020. So I kind of had like a solid background. And of course, like, from the cultural part of it,
Yeah.
as you're working a call center, one of the things that they teach is a culture in here. You know, from the what do you call the military alphabet, like A is an alpha, B is in Bravo type of thing. So I was kind of used to it, but honestly, whenever you're moving countries, you're not 100% ready per se. So there was obviously like a shock, but I was able to absorb it like quickly, I would say.
Interesting. Okay. And the reason I'm asking is because, look, I also immigrated here almost 35 years ago. I was younger than you. I was only 13 years old. I didn't speak any English. My parents didn't speak any English. We didn't have that much money at all. And the first year and a half to 2 years were tough. You know, in school, obviously, that age, you know, kids constantly pick on you. You don't look like them. You don't speak like them. You don't dress like them.
Yeah.
Right. Then my parents, obviously, they had to support us as well, you know, which was very difficult. Right. So we were able to figure things out as the time passed by, you know, but you know, that first year and a half, 2 years, I still remember very vividly. Yeah, I remember. It was like, man, that was hard times, right? I remember my first job was I was 13 years old. I was outside of the shopping mall giving out flyers, handing out flyers for like $1.50 an hour, you know, and that was like, for me at that time was a great experience, great learning experience. But also at the same time, when you're 13 years old, you don't want to be working.
Oh yeah.
Like you go to school, you do your thing, and you just say, I don't want to be working.
Where did you move from, if you don't mind me asking?
Former Soviet Union, from Russia. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah,
Nice.
yeah. So we came here on a Christmas day in 1990, and we ended up in New York City. The reason we ended up in New York City is because my dad's aunt, who lived here for many years, she was our sponsor. She was someone that So, hey, you know what? I'm going to take care of them. I'm going to give them the place to live and all of that stuff. Well, come to find out, she's like 75 years old. She's on Social Security. She doesn't have any extra space. She was living in a 1-bedroom apartment, right? And I'm like, dude. So we had to find our own place very quickly. My mom was working multiple jobs. My dad, unfortunately, after a few months, decided to go back to Russia. He fell into this major depression where he was just like, I'm done. Like, I'm going back. Yeah. So technically, it was my mom, and I helped out as I could financially, this and that. And then I had 2 siblings, right? So, and I tell you, like, I actually had this conversation a few days ago in Nashville. I was talking in front of 1,000 exit realty agents and brokerage owners, and I was sharing my journey. And part of that topic was my background, right? And I was telling them, how much I appreciate what my mom was able to instill in me, how much I was able to learn from her.
Yeah.
Hard work, dedication, resilience, grit. I remember, I think she was making like $2,500 a month. And literally, like, you would think $2,500 a month is not a lot of money nowadays. Even then, back in 1991, 92. But with that money, we were able to cover the rent, food, clothes. We never really felt like we were like in poverty level or missing or this and that. Obviously, again, we used to clip coupons. We used to go and buy things that are on sale and all of that kind of stuff. But like, you felt like, okay, you're going to be able to make it.
You had to do what you had to do.
Yeah, absolutely. So, but again, that right there, that experience, that learning, that training that I was able to get from my mom, really helped me to, progress in my life, because it taught me, again, like resilience, grit, ability to adapt. Because again, we come to this country not knowing any English, not having any money, don't know anything, right? What's that guy's name? The father of, I think, biology, Darwin, James Darwin, I think. He talks about the survival of the fittest, right? And it's not the ones that are the strongest, not the ones that actually have the highest IQ. The ones that survive are the ones that are able to adapt to changes, right? And I think that we as immigrants, right, I think we have a leg up, in adapting to, the things that are happening, any type of adversities or challenges that we're experiencing. We're continuing to push through.
Absolutely. And especially coming from places where we come from. Because, communism is a real thing that
That's right. Nicaragua used to be communist.
Is it?
Yeah, it still is, right? It still is, right?
we are underage as a dictatorship there.
No,
Yeah.
see?
Like, they can put you behind bars just for you to, like, because you're holding your country's flag,
No way.
Yeah.
Still?
For real, yeah. So I've heard, like, when you were speaking, I remember this saying that what is it, like, hard times create strong man, and like, the fact that you had to grind, the fact that you had to adapt, the fact that you had to start from zero, like, that gave you all the power. It was like a setback is a setup for a comeback type of thing for you.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, it's a quote, right? Hard times create strong men. Good times create weak men.
Yeah.
Right? Weak men create hard times.
Yes.
Right? And there's another quote that I use in my event, was the fact that I said, tough times don't last, tough men do. Right? So we got to look at it as seasons, right? Because, like, some of us can be in winter right now, and things are just not looking good, but there's that spring, right? And as we continue to overcome, as we continue to push through and have the right mindset, and this is the most important part.
Yes.
You got to have the right mindset, right? You got to constantly reframe yourself, because there's always going to be something, and we cannot control most of the things in life.
Did you get that season part from Jim Rohn?
Yeah. So the season part, I don't know if it was from Jim Rohn or one of them, but I'm very much into personal development.
Same.
I had to be. Again, I shared, my journey with you pretty quickly, when I came here. But even before that, like, when I was born with a heart defect, right? And it's called ventricular septum defect, which is basically I had a hole in my heart. And doctors actually told my parents, like, I have a 50-50 chance of surviving after like 2 years. So, and when I was growing up, I was not the healthiest baby in the world, right? So again, just pushing through the adversity, pushing through all the stuff, the uncertainty, the anxieties that my parents had to deal with, and I had to deal with. And then, obviously as a, immigration child, and then, 2007, 2008, where I pretty much lost everything financially. That was hard, went through a lot. All of those lessons taught me again, to continue to just move forward,
Absolutely.
you know. And I'm actually very appreciative that it happened in my life because it shaped me who I am right now as an individual.
Absolutely. And I think that people think that like failing is the opposite of success, but it's part of it. Like you have to go through certain winters, show relationships or whatever winter you can think of in order to like appreciate it, appreciate life more. And like whenever your time comes, because it'll come, like winters don't last forever,
Yeah.
but then you will be like smarter, wiser, stronger. So like you will be able to take advantage of the opportunities like that life it's gonna give you for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's one of the reasons where you at right now, right? In such a short period of time. I had a conversation with you about a week and a half ago. You were here in the office, treating us for crumble cookies, I think, which, by the way, not a good thing because, I'm trying to get my A1C down.
Right.
Right. So I'm trying to stay away from sugar as much as possible. So not the best move to make when you bring a box of beautiful cookies, right? Delicious cookies. But I appreciate that for sure. And you and I were talking about it. And, I said, hey, how's business? And you're like, yeah, like last month, I think I had like 40 policies. You issued 40 policies, insurance policies.
Yeah.
I was like, what? 40 policies? You're like, yeah, 40 policies. It's like, man, that's a lot of business. So tell me, like, you started this when? How long ago? Your
Okay.
insurance?
Yes. So I started in Texas last year.
Last year.
Last year, yeah. So like started working with Goosehead Insurance in April last year, and we had the chance. Well, I had the opportunity of opening the office in here because like four of us moved from my team. Like four of us moved from the Woodlands, Texas, to open the office here in Tempe. And I just like starting growing here in Arizona, and I've been blessed enough to have like back-to-back personal bests in terms of amount of policies sold and revenue. So it's been such a ride in a short period of time. So
That's incredible, dude.
yeah.
So where does that rank you though? Like again, I'm not really familiar with the insurance industry, right? And the reason I'm asking that question is because like I saw this post couple of weeks ago, right? And two posts I saw, right? And I was like, first I thought it was maybe a clickbait, but actually these are real NAR stats, right? So one said 71% of real estate agents did not even close one transaction last year. 71% of real estate agents. So just to kind of give an idea, there are like a 1.5 or 1.6 million real estate agents in the US,
Right.
and 1.1 million of them did not even close one deal.
Wow.
Shit.
It's big.
Like, what the F? Or
Yeah.
like, what's going on? And I was like, for me, it's like, right? And the second post I see is it says 62% or 63% of new licensees, new agents, did $10,000 or less in income last year. I was like, what the hell is going on here? Like, listen, I mean, I get it. Like, the market has been tough for the last 2.5, 3 years, right? Three
Yeah.
years, right? Like, I get it. There are like definitely less transactions than there were back in 2021, right? I get that. But if you think about it, we have so many more tools right now. We have so many resources right now. The data is left and right. The information is everywhere. And I remember back in 2013 when I wanted to get my hands on a script, it was like maybe one or two coaching websites. Like right now, there are hundreds.
Oh yeah.
Like I remember like going on YouTube and seeing maybe like few videos, like from like Mike Ferry and everything like that, watching those videos, prospecting videos and everything like that. Right now, there are thousands and thousands and thousands of them. So the information is out there.
Yeah.
Everything is right there. And then on top of that, you have the emergence of AI that will makes our jobs so much more streamlined, right? Or easier. But why are we closing less and less deals, right? Why are we closing less and less transactions? And for me, it was like, it's not the tools, it's not the resources, it's not even the AI. It's right here.
1,000%.
It's right here. So going back to my question to you, dude, like, all right, so like in insurance world, first of all, how many insurance out, like, I know you're more like property and casualty, correct?
Yes.
How many property and casualty insurance agents are there in the United States?
Well, I mean, it's hard to say because, like, there are a few companies like Allstate, Progressive, State Farm, and so on. So on my end, I'm a broker. So I work with 45 to 50 companies that I can write with. So I have that advantage that I can shop the market for my clients. So versus like a captive agent that it's limited to one product
for example, State Farm,
Yep.
right? So they sometimes have great prices, sometimes they don't. If they cannot beat a certain price, that's it for them. So like for me, it would be like a little bit hard to give you an exact number because I don't know, honestly. But the difference between real estate and insurance is like you can think about the sale being a like a higher paycheck per se, in which like the transaction either like for the buyer or the seller and as well the realtors they get the bonuses is like higher versus just the policy. Because like insurance is like mandatory for you to buy your home. If you need to have it insured in order for the loan to close.
Yeah.
Or your autos. Like
It's a necessary evil.
it's a necessary one for sure. So like if the police stops you, you don't have insurance, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I have a love and hate relationship with insurance.
Yeah.
Any reason why it's going up every single year?
Oh, I mean, and
It's a rhetorical question. You don't have to give me an answer. I know we're going to spend a lot of time talking
yeah.
about that.
Don't get me started.
But going back to like my question. So, and the reason I'm asking is because I'm assuming, it's the same type of ratios. Like I think probably about 20% of the insurance agents do most of the business, right? Like in your situation, you close what? How many policies? You have 40 policies last month?
Last month being August, like maybe like 58 to 60.
Okay, 58 to 60 policies. You
Yes.
see, so like on average, the insurance agent that maybe works for your company or works for another brokerage, right? Insurance brokerage. How many policies do they close per month?
Well, it definitely depends on like what time you have in business. Like if you're in your first year, of course, your policies are going to be lower than if you're in the second and you're getting the renewals from the first year.
I'm talking about the new business.
New business, I'll say maybe something between 15 to 20 if you're just like starting.
On average,
On
15 to
average.
20,
Yeah.
which is still pretty good, by the way.
Yeah.
And it's not easy to close 15 to 20 policies, right? Absolutely not. So how are you doing it? How can you go from literally a year ago, starting this in Texas, not even here in Phoenix, all right, Tempe, starting in Texas, moving to Phoenix, right? Brand new city, no connections, right? No friends, no family members. And a year later, you're closing 50 to 60 policies per month.
Yeah,
How?
I think network equals net worth. I'm going to just like resume it like that. Like meet the right people, make friends in the industry. There's a book that comes to my mind right now, which is like How to Win Friends and Influence People. I just started again for the third time the day before yesterday, and it's about that, about like finding people that you vibe with, that can, while doing business, you can have fun with them. You can meet them as friends, outside of hey, it's in the business or whatever it is, like meet people on the personal side of things. So, whenever they think insurance, they'll think about their friend.
I love that. But let's get a little bit tactical on that.
Right.
Right. So I know, meeting people, talking to people, building relationships, nurturing those relationships.
Yeah.
Right. But tactically, what are you doing on a daily basis to get in front of these people?
Well, I mean, I operate in from a like giving starts to receiving process. So I start like asking to my business partners, how can I give them before I start asking for business? Like, is there any open house that I can sponsor? Is there any like problem that you have that I can solve? You know what I mean? So like whenever they see that, it's like, gee, Kris is more than someone you solicit in business. It's an actual asset. It's like someone that can give back. And then I just like try to show the value I have for my friends in the industry, and then that's how I've been getting business.
Got it. So it's all about giving versus asking.
Exactly.
Giving versus taking.
Yeah.
Right. So your offer, hey, let me help you out with the open house. Hey, let me help you out sponsor an event. Hey, let me help you out this and this and that. Right.
Yeah.
And then that's how you develop those relationships.
Yes.
So do you reach out like and your clientele, when you see your clients, are they primarily like, I'm assuming they're mortgage loan officers and real estate agents, correct?
Yes, those are like the primary referral partners that I'll have, because like they're the two main parties on a transaction.
On a transaction.
Yeah.
Title and escrow. Yes.
Well, title is the best person that you can meet as an insurance agent, because they organize the events to put you in front of the people.
Okay. So that's for the events.
Yeah.
But as far as the source of the business, that's mortgage loan officer and a real estate agent.
Yes, like while the transaction is being closed, but outside of that, everyone can be a referral partner. It's like roofers, electricians, like everybody knows someone that is like, oh my gosh, I'm paying too much on insurance, so I know a guy, you know what I mean?
Yes, I know a guy.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. So tell me, like, when you're like reaching out to the agents, right? And let's say you didn't meet that agent at the event, right? But like, it's a cold call.
All right.
Do you cold call agents?
I do, yeah.
Okay. And how's the conversation goes?
Well, pretty much I just ask them, hey, the main way that I reach to people is through Instagram. Like, cause you see the business, you see their marketing, you see if first, like I filter people and see if they're people that I want to work with, that we can vibe, that I can help them, that they can help me. We can have that symbiosis, that a good relationship. And then like, hey, you have a really cool marketing. How are you doing to be so successful in this and that? Or I just like simply share their content and they're like, hey, thank you for sharing. Hey, no problem. And then I start like breaking the ice. I don't go straight to business. I just like try to meet them in person so we can talk live, that we can, get to know each other at a personal level. And then we talk business and the
Gotcha.
things just flow.
So you primarily focusing going through Instagram. So you're just looking for the agents, let's say, right, in Metro Phoenix area, and then you slide into their DMs.
Pretty much,
Pretty
yeah.
much. And you're complimenting them on their marketing, right? Or let's say, for example, they had a listing, they closed on a transaction, they're marketing themselves, you're congratulating them, right? And then like, how do you start the conversation about insurance?
I directly ask, hey, do you have anyone that you work with in regards to insurance? Because, like, real estate as a whole industry is very, it's like relationship based.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, you also don't want to be disrespectful with the person that you already work with. So you just like try to see if there's any room, like I don't lose anything by asking. Like, what's the worst thing that's going to
I
happen?
love it.
I work with someone. No, thank you. Sure, I can be a second option for you. You know what I mean? Like, you never want to close a door just because you got rejected once,
Absolutely.
you know?
I love that. So how many agents, let's say out of 10 agents, how many of them, when you speak to them, actually have a working relationship with an insurance agent?
Well, realtors not that many, honestly, because like the person that needs the insurance is the loan officer, because like their underwriting process requires the insurance.
Yes.
So maybe out of 10, I'll say that 4 to 6, depending on the day, right? They have someone already.
Cool. The real estate
This is
agents,
a loan officer.
loan officer.
Yeah.
4 to 6.
Yeah, they go
About 50%. What about agents?
agents, maybe 8 out of 10, they don't have any.
They don't have one.
And the 2 is like they're working with me. I'm just kidding.
No. But interesting. But it's a very interesting way of looking at it, because if you think about it, real estate agents, for the most part, not all of them, actually originate the transaction.
Exactly.
Right. So they're the ones that are meeting with the prospect. They're the ones that are signing the buyer broker agreement. They're the ones that typically, most of the time, not all the time, most of the time, introducing that client to the lender, right? But they're not mentioning anything about insurance.
Nothing at all.
Like I can just speak for myself for many, many years. And I close hundreds like I personally close over 500 deals. Half of them are from buyers, right? You know how many times I asked about insurance?
None.
None. I swear, right? It was never crossed my mind. I was like, wait a minute. Like, we are the ones that are actually originating the deal. We're the ones that are originating the transaction, right? We are the ones that typically have the best relationship, right? The strongest relationship with the client. And I would refer my clients a roofer, a landscaper, a pool company, a painter, this, electrician, like everything under the sun except the insurance agent.
Yeah. And that's the thing that I actually learned when I moved from real estate, because I used to be the Melissa for a company that I used to work with. This guy,
There's only one Melissa.
well, I mean, yes, absolutely, but I mean like the director of all
I know.
of that company. So like the guy
For real estate
for
company?
real estate, it's a realty in Los Angeles.
Okay.
So that guy taught me everything that I know in real estate. And when I started like working to get my license, I started like studying. It was like reading in Chinese. I didn't know anything about insurance.
Yeah.
And I think that that's like a common thing for realtors, that they don't know anything about insurance. So I think that the main gap in there with insurance is education. You need to like teach your referral partners, like, why are you so paramount for the deals? Because like if you have a DTI issue and the insurance is like too high, you cannot close.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well,
So
that's the thing. And not only that, the fact that you have 40 to 50 insurance companies that you go to shop around,
yeah.
that's huge in comparison, let's say, going with just one product or just one company,
Yeah.
right? But again, I'm still like, if let's say I ask my agents, like, how many of you guys have a relationship with an insurance agent? Maybe 5% of them will raise their hand,
Right.
maybe 10. So it's 90% of the market is there. And again, that's another thing that I noticed in the last 12, 13 years I've been doing real estate. Maybe once or twice I got a call from an insurance agent offering your services. I get calls from mortgage loan officers constantly,
Right.
right? I get calls from other companies constantly, different industries, but not from the insurance. And I was like, why? Like, we are the ones who are starting the transactions. We are the ones who can introduce you, Kris Alfaro,
Yeah.
to our client right off the bat. So this way, our client knows, all right, I'm in great hands, and we just don't do it.
I think it has to do with the market. Like, I'm coming from Texas, so like Texas is a very saturated market. What I tell my friends is like comparing it to video games, playing in Texas is hard. You come here and it gets easier just because it's not as saturated as it is there.
I thought Phoenix is so much more saturated than Texas.
Like for my line of business, I don't think so.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. So you're saying their insurance agents are definitely more aggressive and more active in working the real estate agent market?
I will say
Close?
so.
Really?
I'll say so because this is definitely an untapped market.
Wow.
And that's one of the main
Don't say this, because now you have everybody's like, I want to be an insurance agent and I want to be calling agents.
then they have
I
to do
agree,
it.
because again, from my experience, the last 12 years, I maybe got 1 or 2 calls, if that, from insurance companies or insurance agents offering insurance services.
All right.
I'm usually the one who's hunting. I'm usually the one asking, hey, do you know a good, reputable insurance company, insurance broker, or insurance agent?
Right. Right. Right.
It's insane.
Yeah. But I guess it narrows down to the type of person you are as well. Like, if you're hungry, if you don't like settle down, if you want to grow your relationships, because like everyone can get a license. It's the same thing as in real estate.
How many hours of schooling did she have to go through in order to get your license?
You don't have to have like complete a certain amount of hours. You just have to pass the test, basically.
Oh, so you don't even have to go to school.
No.
Oh, just take a test, and if you pass it,
I mean, like you have
the license?
I studied for like 2 weeks from like early in the morning till because again it was like totally different, like the terminology, all the technicality that you have to learn for insurance, and then you have to take the exam and
How much
pass.
is the exam?
I don't even know because like my company
Company
pay,
is-
yeah, so that like pay for it.
Okay, so let me ask you this question. Okay, again, it's I think it's an important question, because whoever's listening, you're like, okay, well, he closed on or issued 50 or 60 policies last
Yeah.
month, right? That's a lot of policies, right? In terms of the dollar amount, the dollar value, what are we looking at? How much, let's say, an insurance agent that closes, let's say, 50 of these policies a month will make in commissions?
That varies as well. Like if you have your own agency, like definitely the revenue will be way higher than if you like work for like a corporate account, like corporate agency, I'll say. Because like of course, you get to perceive a basic salary plus commissions.
Let's say there's no salary.
I mean,
Let's
like
say, for example, you are working for an insurance brokerage.
right.
Yeah.
You can get maybe, do you want like a dollar amount?
Yeah, I'm just curious. What's the average policy is, how much it is, and what's the insurance, what's the commission typically?
Okay, so like for homes, I'll say that they go between 1,200 to 2,200. Of course, depends on the square footage of the home.
Okay.
And then you can get paid, I will say something between 13 up to 17% of the amount.
Okay, so let's say, for example, it's on a high end, it's $2,000, and let's say in the middle is 15% of $2,000. You're looking at around $300 per policy. But most of the time, you guys bundle,
Yeah.
right? Because it's not just home, it's auto as well.
And that's the best way.
And that's the best way to go, right? And that's usually what the insurance companies want. Hey, if you want to save more money, this is what we got to do,
Right.
right? So, and the average, let's say, car insurance policy would be what?
For 6
For you.
months, I mean, you can do yearly, but like the most popular option is every 6 months. Yeah. So, well, that varies. Like that's the one that varies the most because it has to do with your records. Like the amount.
Well, it's in Wells, yeah.
So maybe something between 900 up to 1,800, depending on the amount of drivers, the amount of vehicles, and the track record as well.
Per vehicle.
No, per like the whole policy.
So you can have multiple vehicles?
You can have multiple vehicles here.
Okay, so that's for 6 months. That means you're looking at around $3,600 a year.
Again, it
Yeah.
depends.
So give or take, we're looking probably around five to $6,000 a year for home and auto.
Yeah, so basically, if you're speaking dollars as an insurance agent, you can make something between maybe 40 up to 65,000 in your first year, and then like it only increases because like in the first year you don't have any renewals. Second year you can, maybe tap into six figures already. And in a span of like fifth or your fifth or seventh year, you can start like touching millions already.
Okay, so obviously the beautiful part about insurance in general is the fact that it's not one time done and then you got to hunt for another client, right? The bulk of your money is going to be made in the second, third, fourth, fifth year, right? Where you build that book of business. They call it a residual income. Yeah. That's what makes it very attractive, So what I'm hearing is like on average, the average policy, if you bundle it together, give or take, is about $500 in commission. The first year policy, somewhere there.
Well, I wouldn't be able to tell you like how much the commission is like as an agency owner,
Yeah.
but it's not the same as incorporate, because like you get some other benefits, you get base paid and all that.
Yeah.
But I'm guessing that should be somewhere in between that.
Got it.
And the real money comes, I would say, in the third year.
So the real money comes in a third year.
Yeah, the first year has to be like hustle. You have to hustle for relationships. You have to get the referral partners going.
Yeah.
Second year is kind of like you have to balance out, like you still need to like keep generating business from referral partners, but at the same time, you need to service the people you already served the first year plus the other clients. So second year is like the most difficult one, but once you're like used to that third, fourth, fifth year, I'm guessing, and per what my colleagues have told me, it gets easier.
And what is the retention rate though? Like for people that you sign up the year after, how many of them actually renew their policies with you?
Maybe I'll say a 70%, because like at the end of the day, you service your clients like you, but like money is king. Like if they can find money some like a premium, a lower premium somewhere else, they will love you as an insurance agent, but money is king. And I'm fine with that. I actually tell them, hey, if I'm unable to find you something lower, just like stay with what you have or where you're going. It's like we need to operate based of honesty. We don't want to read people off.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay, awesome. And then like on these renewal policies, what is the typical commission that an insurance agent gets
Well, it's something between 15 to 25%.
on the renewals?
Yeah, it's actually lower than like when you sell new.
Oh, really?
So it depends. Like if you're in corporate, being a senior account executive, which is like you reach a certain amount of policies, is definitely higher than. But again, I'm just talking based of what I know on the corporate side of things. But I'm assuming that whenever you're an agency owner, that's like way better.
Got it.
Yeah.
Love that. That's awesome. So right now you said you're part of a team, right?
Yeah.
How many of you are part of the team? 4?
No, we were the founders, but like now we are like I think 13 agents.
Oh, wow.
We're growing like rapidly here.
Wow, that's pretty exciting.
Yeah, it is.
So are you the one who's kind of like recruiting these agents, these individuals?
No, what I do is that I sell insurance, but I'm one of the seniors and on the team, so I do have a couple of sales babies, we call them. Yeah,
Juniors?
yeah, juniors.
Yeah, yeah.
So like we pretty much teach them, like give them best practices, like hold their hands to teach them how to sell
So like
insurance.
mentor them.
Exactly.
Got it. Are you getting some sort of like a mentorship fee?
Not really, but like that gives you
They,
projections.
they gotta pay you something, man.
I mean, giving starts the receiving process. You like teach them that you can know how to grow people, and then you can be promoted to be a team lead, or like one of the things that I love about Goosehead is the servant leadership that's one of their core values. So like, if you want to be a leader, you need to serve.
Yeah,
So
I love that.
yeah, that's how you start.
That's awesome, man. So tell us about your plans, your goals, your targets. Let's say, like a year from now and then 5 to 10 years down the road.
Yeah, absolutely. So a year from now, I want to be definitely in a better spot that I am, like as a person. Like the first thing that is above all is personal development. Like I love growing. But like in terms of professional, like my professional goals, like I want to open my own agency. And other than doing insurance, I want to keep on doing with the real estate game. I want to start investing, some fix and flips in the air.
Love that.
Yeah, I'm definitely hungry. Yeah, 5 years from now, I actually want to retire before I turn like 45. Not maybe retire from like not working, but just like to have the financial freedom to say, hey, I want to work from Bahamas tomorrow.
I love that.
I want to go to Cancun.
Well, I think with insurance, you can do that, all right? Because again, without a residual income coming in.
Yeah, but it's one thing that I've observed, and I've heard a lot of feedback about this, is like when insurance agents they get to a certain point, they stop serving. They become unresponsive. They're like, "Hey, I'm golfing. Hey, I'm in Europe. Hey, I'm here and there," and you know, it's kind of wrong.
Yeah.
I want to like to have that team to build my own, of course, open my own agency and build a team in which like we're always there for our clients, like we're always there, like we're very responsive. That's where my mind is heading.
I love it too. I love it. Any insight that you can give to, consumers, homeowners, auto owners in terms of, savings, getting the most out of their policy, anything inside of the policy that they may or may not should focus on, right, to save as much as possible when it comes to, those monthly payments.
Absolutely. So first thing that came to my mind is like if you have a cracked windshield, try not to submit a claim. Because like every single claim that you submit, you have to pay deductibles, of course, and that'll affect your record. Like I said, adds up.
Dude, we made that mistake painfully like 3 years ago, 4 years ago. My wife was driving Cadillac Escalade, right? And like literally within a year, no joke, I think there were like 3 times where her like windshield cracked,
Yeah.
right? And I love my wife, but how, those windshield replacement companies, they paint this beautiful picture that you don't have to pay anything out of the pocket.
Mm.
They give you a little gift. They can do it right there within 24 hours.
Marketing.
Right. And then like, oh, okay, cool, nothing out of my pocket. And then when we tried to renew our policy, we got hit big time.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it double, if not even triple. For what? Oh, you guys replaced your windshield like 3 times in like 15 months or something like that. Right. So we learned that the hard way.
Right.
So first and foremost, if you got a windshield crack, try to figure out your own, like on your own versus going through the insurance company.
1,000%.
I agree. Yeah.
Because like the most popular deductible that people have is like $1,000. So that means that if you submit a claim, you have to pay out of pocket $1,000.
Oh, yeah.
And you can go to any shops that will fix it, pay maybe less,
Yeah.
and then you don't add that to your record.
Dude, I cracked a windshield on my BMW like a year and a half ago. You know what I did? Or actually one of the guys in the car wash or whatever it is, he just put some adhesive there, like I don't know what that is, a glue or something like that. And it's been like this now for like a year and a half. It didn't spread at all. I haven't changed or I haven't replaced my windshield.
Yeah. So that's one of the best tips that we can share regarding insurance. You don't get to see that this often here, but whenever in Texas you do, that's what I'm saying. But whenever you have power outages, there is like a claim that you can submit because your food goes bad.
Spoils.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like you get like $500 for that, but that's a claim. You know what I mean? This is like premium will go.
So insurance companies will pay you $500, but it's considered to be a claim.
Yeah, exactly.
Got you.
You have that. And if you can have like a towing companies like AAA outside of the insurance, because by you being towed is not like as big of a claim as if you're in like under a collision claim, for example, that you collide against someone. That is like a higher tier of a claim that you have in your reports. But like towing is there as well. It doesn't increase the premium dramatically, but if you can like work it around like with AAA or any other those companies that offer like those benefits, do it as well.
So we do have a AAA.
Yeah.
And then, of course, with my BMW, I have the roadside assistance.
All right.
But you're saying is if you're going to go through the insurance company, it's going to appear as a claim.
It appears, but it's not like as a heavyweight of a claim.
Interesting. Right. Okay. What else?
What's considered full coverage on an auto policy?
I don't know.
Yes.
Tell me.
So there, you only have to have two things for you to have a full coverage. You have to have what the law requires, which is the bodily injury, like in case you are responsible for an accident. So that amount or coverage will cover the person you're affecting and your comprehensive and collision deductibles. So as long as you have those two in your auto policy, you can take that car out of the dealership, right? But there are some, and I like to, are you familiar with Mojo, like those yogurts that you pour like you pour in a cob and then you put some toppings on it, like fruit or whatever.
The places where like they give you like full control of how much you want to put in there.
Yeah. So there are toppings that you can add to your policy.
Hmm.
Right. So you can do like uninsured and underinsured, which is not a requirement for you to have full coverage. Right. Like what's uninsured and underinsured. Let's say that you go to the mall. Once your bag, your BMW is like has been hit. So and the person like it was a hit and run. So if you don't have that, then you're not covered. You need to go to like to figure it out on your own. But that's a topping, right? You have that, you have roadside assistance, you have like in some companies, the glass coverage is
Mm.
something that is not required, but you can add medical payments, personal injury protection. They're like a what do you call an auto policy? It's a little bit complex. It's like you can add and you can take, and that will obviously have an impact on your premium. Another tip is like if you haven't had any claims in the past 5 years, you can maybe do a higher deductible, like 1,500 instead of 1,000, to drop a little bit your premium, because that gives you discounts as well, like being accident free.
Got you.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. What about teenagers? So my oldest one, she wants a car.
Yeah.
Right. But here's my thing, right? So she's gonna be turning 18, right? And she's a very careful driver. So, we've been teaching her how to drive now for over a year and a half. But here's my thing. Like her school is like literally like a 5-minute drive.
Right.
Like it's a 20-minute walk. She doesn't have a job yet, but she's looking. And I was like, man, like, is it really like worth putting a teenager right now on a policy, especially if she's not really going to be utilizing her car that much, right? Like, what are your thoughts on that? I heard from some people, I'm not going to name names, that you don't even have to put them on the policy because they live with you. And if they use your car, that's your car, and something happens, it happens, insurance company will still cover it. Is that accurate?
Yes and no.
What do you mean no?
So if they have like a driver's like learn like the permit, it's not like an actual driver's license. Like as long if they have a driver's license, they have to be added to the policy as drivers. Like if they have a learner's permit, they will be covered under you.
Is that like across the board or
Yes.
okay, so if let's say they have a learner's permit, they will be covered.
Yeah. As long as they're with you on the car.
Oh, so if they're not,
If they're on their own,
are you sure?
1,000%.
Because I heard from multiple people that said, hey, you know what? If your son or your daughter is driving, right, and they're not part of the policy and they're driving your car, something happens, God forbid, of course, right?
Yeah.
They're going to be covered.
No, we actually had this training specifically because like adding teenagers will bump your price up.
Oh.
She can be like that perfect daughter,
And she is.
that will
Like literally drives like that.
yes,
exactly.
but she's part of the statistics. She's 18, and 18 years old are crazy when they're
She's not crazy.
But I'm saying like in general.
Yeah.
So like that's the way insurance they look at the things, like the worst case scenario. So like adding teenagers will bump your price up. Whether
Like by
they're
how much?
responsible. Oh, it's
What's
hard.
the percentage?
It's hard to say, but like I've seen like policies like people paying maybe 180 to 200 up to like 320 through 50. So like it's
It just doubles.
kind of. Again, it depends.
Yeah.
It's a very like per case scenario. But again, as long as the person has a driver's license, they need to be insured. If they're not,
Okay, so anything that I can do to save when, let's say, I add my daughter into my insurance policy, anything that I can do to save
absolutely.
somehow?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There are some companies like Progressive, like Geico, Safeco that offer like the Safe Driver discount, which is up to 15%. The way you do it, like some companies, they send you like a tracking device. Another companies are like more like modern nowadays. And all you have to do is just like download an app and basically will track the way you drive. Not that there are people that don't like it because like, hey, I don't want them to know
where to track
where I'm going and all that.
Yeah.
I honestly have it, and
You have it yourself?
I do have it. Yeah, I have Progressive, and I have the discount, and I save money, and I just like, you know what I mean?
Interesting. So have that app on her phone. Does it have to be universal? Everybody's got to have those apps, or is just I can be just my daughter?
No, it has to be everyone under the policy.
Everyone.
Yeah,
Interesting. And it tracks everything.
it tracks
Speeding.
like the main two things that it tracks is like the speeding and like the hard braking.
Yeah, you see, those are the two things that not heartbreaking, but at times, I have a very heavy foot, and I got a car that goes pretty fast,
Yeah. The thing is that you get rated, but not judged. You know what I mean? Like, let's say that at the time of the renewal, you had maybe 2 or 3 stars out of 5. That doesn't mean that they're not going to give you the discount on the other policy period. Like, if you didn't have any accidents, the major things that are going to affect your renewals are the claims. If we can, we're submit to that part. Like, you want to avoid claims as much as you can.
Guys,
If you have to, you have to, because that's why we have insurance at the end of the day. But like that affects you. And another major thing is like having minimum state limits. Minimum state limits for Arizona are $25,000 per person, $50,000 for like the whole accident, and property damaged 15 or 25, depending on what you choose. Now, let me ask you something. What do you think it's the average price per car, like that are driving out there?
right now, at least 20 grand.
20 grand. Okay, so if you have 15 and as part of the minimum state limits,
Yeah.
guess what? Insurance will cover 15 and then you have to come out of pocket 5,000. And that's another thing that insurance companies look into. So what's more recommendable is to be at least a tier up, which is 5,150. Because guess what? Like if you collide against a Porsche, God forbid, that's money that will come out of your pocket, but it might be less than if you had,
Colliding against Porsche is probably going to be more than 50,000.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But then you can,
Yeah, my neighbor's Porsche is like 250,000.
there's those. So then you need a higher liability. Let's check your policy.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
All right, man. Anything else that a consumer, like somebody who's trying to get an insurance, or like for example for a home, like anything in particular that they need to be in mind of when they're actually getting a policy for their home?
Yeah, just like be mindful and check it every now and then. You know what I'm saying? Because like sometimes we're just like so busy with our lives that we get a letter of renewal from the insurance company and it's like from $1,000 that you were paying and now you're being charged 2,200. Why? Like give your insurance agent.
It happened to me. Like literally doubled. I was paying 1,600 and it doubled to like 32 or 3,400, and I'm like, why?
Yeah, exactly.
Like it's not like my home doubled in value.
Right.
I didn't have any claims, none. Why did we double? And the response from the insurance agent was, well, we had wildfires in California, we had floods in Florida, we have this, we had that, and therefore I have to pay for that.
Yeah. The thing is that, it's the market. That's the typical answer that they'll give you, but it actually makes sense. Let me give you an example. Coming from Texas, I saw like how the renewals of my clients like spiked a lot just because of this Hurricane Beryl that we had there last year. That increased insurance like prices like crazy because of the amount they paid. I think $1.3 billion in claims, like as a whole market. And then, of course, prices got impacted. California, oh man, we don't even want to open that door. Like Florida, gosh, you know what I'm
I
saying?
know, but the thing is, like, I get, like, if I live in Florida,
Right.
I understand that, right? If I'm living in parts of California, like, I'm getting that, right? Like, okay, cool. Like, they have to be a little more selective, right?
Yeah.
But I live in Arizona.
Exactly.
They're literally like, there are no natural disasters in Arizona. Why am I paying for what happened in California? Why am I paying what happened in Florida? And again, it is what it is. I'm not putting you on the spot or anything like that.
Right.
But just to complete that story, so we then shopped around. We went directly with Progressive, and I'm not promoting Progressive. And like literally from like 3,000 and change went down to like $1,500 or $1,600.
Yeah. That's why it's important to shop around.
But she swore, she's like, oh, Alan, I shopped everybody, this and that. And she's also like an insurance broker. And apparently, she missed the Progressive.
Or maybe she did shopped around with all the options she had. And maybe she didn't have Progressive.
Yeah. Anyways, but just a story to share. All right, cool. Anything else that I should have asked you that I didn't when it comes to the policies, man?
I mean, mainly just like check them often, like if you see, even if you don't see any increases in price, you can still decrease it by shopping it around and stay in touch with your insurance agents. We definitely are trying to have your best interests or defend it, defend your pocket or try to reduce your expenses and always try to bundle home and auto because that's the best way. You can save up to 30% on the policies by doing that.
Yeah, I love that. Awesome, dude. All right, cool. So where can they find you? I know we're going to have thousands, if not even millions of people watching this. Where can they find you? Is it Instagram?
Yeah, Kris with a K. That's my
Kris with a K.
user right there. Yeah.
So Kris Alfaro.
Yes,
Okay,
exactly.
Kris Alfaro. So on Instagram, Facebook,
Facebook, yes.
TikTok,
No.
you
Think of the dance.
YouTube? No.
No, I just
No, YouTube.
I do mainly Facebook and
Instagram. Your phone number?
yes, 713-320-0373. Add your services.
Cool. All right, my friend. Well, thank you so much. I enjoyed this conversation and continue like all the success. I mean, you accomplished a lot in the last year and a half. Dude, and the sky is the limit.
We have to think like millionaire and hustle like you're broke, right?
That's it. Every day. Every day is hustling. All right, brother. I'll see you next time.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, guys. See you next time.
Thank you.